Greetings, everyone. This is a video, and hopefully it will record. So I'm doing the decades. You guys going to find out how old I am. So without any further ado, we will get into the decks. So since I go live very often, I just got done doing a introductory course to herbalism with Diane Duracri. We just did course 1, and so everything was set up, and it didn't record because I was hoping to share it at some point, but for some reason there was a problem. But anyway, decades 1 to 10. I came up with the Wildwood Tarot because I spent my youth in the woods, in the fields. So this really reminds me of spending time in the woods with my grandmother. We had so much, and it was magical. It was mystical. It was beautiful. At home wasn't great, but I enjoyed the escape into my woodlands. This says it all, this card right here. So that was where I felt at home, in the woods with my grandmother. So especially 1 to 10, definitely. And so we'll put that back in her cozy little snuff wildwood bag. And then we go to another. See which one I picked for 10 to 20. And I picked the Journey into the Hidden Realms Tarot. Because 10 to 20, I was really quite the wild child. And I feel some wildness in this deck. But I was still close to nature. It was still very important to me. And I was starting to learn about the magical parts of life. And that there were hidden realms. They were starting to become known to me. They really were. So that's why I picked that deck. And then after that was my 20s, which still can be considered to be a wild time in my life. So I picked my Everyday Witches Tarot because I was kind of finding this deck to be very useful, to be very wild. Hi, Bella, thanks for joining. I find this to really the clothes, Bella? The cloths, yes. There's one behind me, but I don't have enough light on it that I'm working on. I'll do that in another video, though. So, but it's very useful, this deck. It's very, and there's even a little mischievous quality to it. And that I was that way in my 20s because I had my first car. I like going out with my friends, and I just enjoyed. I just really got into enjoying life. Yes, there were a lot of struggles, but for some reason, I'm going through these decks. I really want to focus on what I really learned during that time. And I really enjoyed being with my friends. And like, this is Five of Swords, yes, we got into trouble at times. Yes, we did. But all in all, it was not horribly bad. You know, I'd help my friend sneak out of the house in my 20s. You know, not my house, of her house. I had a friend sneak out of her parents' house to come to my house because she was pissed at her parents. So things like that went on, but it was really, really a really time of having fun and being invincible and not worrying about consequences. So that this deck kind of reminds me of that. Then after my 20s, I went into my 30s. And I picked this deck because I'm pretty sure this is when I got my deck, this deck. So this deck, and it's a little cozy, is the, oh my, I'm not even going to, oh, Handsome Rabbit Tarot. It's Rider-Waite-Smith based, but in my 30s, I had to become more responsible. I had to become more mature. I had to kind of start to buckle down and be practical in life. So this Handsome Rabbit Tarot really represents that time of my life, and I was spiritually questioning in my 20s and 30s. It really began in my early 20s. And so I think that's why tarot came into my life at this time, even though it wasn't used in a broad sense, but it was used personally. So yeah, that one is one of my faves. My all-time faves. So that was, what did I say, my 30s, yes. And then we got into my 40s. And that's when I started studying herbalism seriously. And I started, I moved away from New Hampshire into Massachusetts. I was studying herbalisms in my late 40s. And this really is a druid craft. I really started to come into a sense of myself. I really realized my pagan roots, that they were mine. Oh, I'm sorry, that was upside down. I realized my pagan roots. Let me get this in the right. My pagan roots. That I was not. Ooh, these are all upside down. I'm having a hard time. I realized I was the Empress. I realized she was my card. I knew she was my card because I'm earthy and I love studying herbs. So she's just this card. Hold on, people. I'm not sure if you can hear me. Hold on a second. I just dropped my mic on the floor. And I have no idea where it went. So I don't even know if you can hear me. Got it! Now you can hear me. Oh my God, that is so funny. Oh, where was I? In my 40s, studying herbs. And the druid craft really represents that time in my life. I know things happen with me. So, this is really more learning about my roots, learning about my roots, not only my ancestral roots, but the roots of my belief system, the roots of my ancestry. I really started to understand how they all kind of came together to make me. So now I'm almost good, which is probably a good thing since I'm dropping anything. And so the last one in my 50s, because I'm in my 50s now, is I chose the Mystic Oracle. because I feel like everything I've learned has come together. That everything I've learned, all the experiences I've had in the previous years of my life had come together in the 50s. And life is very difficult. This is one of the hardest times in my life, but it's also one of the most mystical and magical times. So I chose a mystic shaman oracle because I've been through the sweat lodge in my 40s. I had all this. I was immersed in this culture of mysticism. And I came out from that a mystic. I wouldn't call myself a shaman, but I would call myself mystic. So that is kind of really represents who I am right now. You know, this is who I am right now. It does need its own guidebook. I don't. That's the thing with this deck. It is so personal to me. I don't need a guidebook. I can read this card the moment I pick it up. It doesn't matter because I have lived this. This kind of is a culmination of my life. I may not have technically vision quested, but I've lived this. I've been with people who have. I understand this deck. That's why when I first saw this deck, it was throw out the guidebook, really, because this says it all. The artwork says it all. And that's what I think. So I'm going to relive. Yeah, I'm getting tired. Can't you tell? The circle. So the circle of a tarot people. And hopefully someday Bella always joins me live, but hopefully if I do more live, I will try to do it at the same time every day or every week. And then maybe I'll have more people join me. But the circle of the tarot community on YouTube. Yes. So that's my deck through the decades, and I hope you enjoyed it. That's a Mystic Shaman Oracle. That one. So, like I said, throw out the book and read the deck. That's it for now. Over and out. Thank you very much for joining me. Oh, dead cheeky. I'm just about to shut off. Oh, but I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time. Bye.